Hello again. It's honestly this week kind of went by in a bit of a flash. I think that was mostly because I was doing a lot of stuff I actually liked. But this week also felt excruciatingly slow because for some reason unbeknownst to me as of yet, I just have been having a very tough time actually drawing or writing. Even doing the journaling part, I sometimes that's more of just a forgetfulness thing, since it's so little actual writing. It's not really a chore. But when it comes down to just drawing or writing, despite enjoying doing both of them, I find myself having a difficult time bringing myself to actually do it. I I don't know why. I hope I find out why, but as of yet, I don't know. Um, Other than that, I'd say the week went relatively well. This being the only day where I don't feel like I'm actually doing anything, but that was because I spent the entire first half of the day playing with a friend. It's also why I'm not recording this near to 12 p.m. anyway. Um, a lot of the problems that I have oftentimes go quite unexplored because I just don't explore them and say they're bad, which is not exactly a good thing, I'd say. It oftentimes just makes me to vilify it, and whenever I fall prey to it, I end up hating myself in a sort of sense, and then it just hurts more. And while sure there might be a place for that in some people, I don't think it's going to be very helpful for me, especially when it comes down to actually changing my bad habits into good ones. God, I can't get this shit out of my throat. Um, this is the last day of the month, so um, that means I have to set up another month's worth of stuff, which I'm completely fine with. Actually, I wanted to do it because I want to track something else, and in in particular with journaling, it's both a form of I like doing it because it shows that I'm able to build consistency, especially with new things. So that's good. Uh, it's proof to myself that I can actually bring on new, I guess, habits. I just have to approach it correctly. And it's also a sort of form of, I guess, regret or dread, where whenever I look at it and I see certain things, I notice certain things I don't like, but instead of changing it the next day, I, or at least the me from yesterday, just starts to regret it more and my mood becomes shittier. It has both good and bad, but I gotta learn to not let the bad discourage me, especially since I am incredibly volatile when it comes to stuff like that. I find it incredibly difficult to do, and I just need to actually do it. So I need one for the journal. I need to track a metric that's better. My sleep time is a lot harder to track, and it's also it's also affected by a number of other like massive amount of things. But my next thing that I'm planning, I'm gonna do screen time because this is actually affected by not nearly as many things as my sleep time is, but my screen time is affected by both what I do as chores, working out, physical stuff, which is just working out. So physical activity, specifically phone screen time, not this or the TV. And then it's also heavily affected by any, I guess, just other stuff. hobbies and such, writing and drawing, oftentimes are big big users of time that actually change the amount of screen time I have. I imagine at the start of the month, because I'm also going to make a monthly goal. Since I'm tracking my screen time, I'm going to try and make it a sort of consistent thing that the last week of the month I'm going to attempt to keep my screen time under a specific time. The first week will be logging a sort of medium, and then I put a goal at the end for what I want it to be by the end of the week. And from there, hopefully, the monthly goal isn't an overarching huge goal, it is just a small thing, but hopefully that goal alone will allow me to sort of focus more on it. Because when I put the stuff in the little journal of just goals, such as finish these games, I actually noticed myself finding it harder to do other things because I wanted to finish the games first. And when I'm not feeling the games, which that's more of just an inherent problem with, I guess, my own mindset or my own brain, is when I'm not feeling it, I find it harder to actually do a lot of other things. So tracking and having goals, different goals, ones that are more pertain towards what I'm tracking, are hopefully going to help out. I still want to leave like miscellaneous ones that don't necessarily pertain to anything, but I would also like to have. Goals connected to what I'm tracking. So whenever a month comes up, I look at what I want to track and I want to come up with a goal for it. And I want these goals to also be capable of changing mid-month. A month is a long time, believe it or not. So naturally, if it changes over the month or I add something new to it, I would like to leave it somewhat open to that. But I suppose aside from those, that's kind of all I have to say. It really isn't much progress, and I am feeling kind of like shit. It's mostly because of the journal that I think that I'm not doing certain other things that I typically would. It's also just I am really bad at putting my shit down. I think what I need to do is whenever I get up, come out here, look at the paper, look at my journal for goals after logging everything down from the previous day. And then from there, I sort of plan out what exactly I'm going to do timed. I don't want to have to be, because if I'm in the middle of doing something else, I don't want to have to stop and put that down immediately in order to be able to do something else. And I mean important, something that is real, not just like playing a video game or some shit. I think I gotta get in the habit of doing that. I don't necessarily have to write it down on a piece of paper. I could just use my notes app, and that should suffice, to be honest. But I think I should be more meticulous with how my day goes. I did note a lot earlier. This was purely from memory. I haven't actually watched this one yet. If I did, I might have been able to tell which day it was from. But I did note that I was capable of doing things more often when I schedule it to a certain point in the day or a certain point in the week, which the scheduling part makes sense for the week thing. I've been doing that a while. But I do need to learn to schedule my days accordingly and make it sort of a part of my morning routine. Because I just get up, I come out here, I remember the paper, I don't necessarily look at it. I have it there if I need to look at it, which oftentimes happens on Fridays, and admittedly enough, I definitely take the whole miscellaneous free thing a bit too literally, but anywho, tangent aside, I need to sort of remember my day. If I don't, I need to make it a part of my morning routine to, do the journal. Then right after that, immediately after that, enter into notes what I'm going to do today. And just writing it down in my notes should automatically sort of stick in my head for the day. Maybe not the next day, but absolutely this day, or the day of the notes being placed in. It's definitely a problem I've noticed literally today. Not a problem I noticed today, but a solution I came up with on the fly. So if it doesn't turn out, maybe I'll develop something better. But as of right now, I think it's very plausible and incredibly reliable, at least for myself. I guess other than that, I'm done. I'll see myself next time.